NFTs settled on the Bitcoin blockchain are getting really hot right now. The community's small, it's tight-knit, and it's growing very, very fast. And what this means is it means you can get in on the ground floor of some of these amazing projects and ride them up. Let's jump in and check out one of the main ones, Megapont Ape Club. First up, I want to say if you could hit up that like button, it really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. Also down below there are chapters, so you can fast forward to the sections that you want to help you navigate the video easier. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research before jumping into the NFT space. And before I jump into it, what I want to say is I did a video on Bitcoin NFTs, and the video is up here. You can watch that there. And when I put it out, there was a huge response on Twitter. The whole sort of ecosystem, the whole Stacks ecosystem got behind it and are really supportive, and that made me jump in and explore a little bit more. And then Megapont Ape Club kept coming up, so that's why I wanted to kind of jump in and check it out and kind of share what the project is and where it could be going, and then what happens with the whole ecosystem itself. I've got my thoughts on this as a whole NFT investment at the end of the video, and you can actually get to that by using the chapters below. Anyway, let's get into it. So when you land on their website, Megapont is a pixel art project, and you've got the buttons for the minting. Now what I really like is when you first scroll down, what you see this image. What they're doing is they're starting to build the universe that the Megapont apes live in. And then what it means is that they can then expand on this initial IP and then kind of build this out. So it means that you're actually in with something that isn't just a one-trick pony. You've got something that has the potential to grow into something a little bit more. Megapont is a fictional universe in which advanced scientific mutations accelerate the evolution of every species on Earth. Earth is currently a thriving, bustling paradise that has been at great peace for a generation. And then when you scroll down, you get into the specific Megapont Ape Club information. Megapont Ape Club is a celebration of the more scenic members of the Megapont world. Due to accelerated evolution, they've inherited many behaviors of the closely related human species, both good and bad. And then you've got an idea of the images here. And then it goes on to say that they've evolved very fast and they've essentially become the kings of the Megapont universe. And they currently reside outside Megapont Plaza and live in the idyllic paradise outside the metropolis. So what this project's really doing here is they're trying to really build a story around what Megapont is, and it really does leave them open to expanding on that initial IP. And then you've got the roadmap, you've got the mint, they're going to have a community DAO, and then the next part that gets me excited is that they're going to be expanding the Megapont universe, and they mint another club. So like I said, they've built the idea of what the Megapont universe is, and then they're going to be having drops around that to kind of build up that IP. And then when it comes down to the physical merchandise, it'll be interesting to see what it is, because I think it can be very tacky if you just slap a logo on something. It takes a really skilled designer to kind of design something that's cohesive, and hopefully it's like that. And then when you come down to the team, you've got the artist and the dev. And a real quick detail, this is what I mean by about the support of the Stacks community. We had the dev himself reach out and say, happy to answer any questions that you might have. So what this really shows is it shows that the team and the community just really want to show off the ecosystem of not just Megapont, but actually the whole Stacks ecosystem itself. And that's what I really mean by about getting on the ground floor, because you'll then start to make these connections with the OGs in this space. Now, when it comes down to the release, they were released on the 26th of October, or the public sale on the 28th, but 50 stacks was the price, and there was a run of 2,500 of them. And when we jump over onto Stacks art, and we can see that the price floor is above 1,000 stacks. So the flip was real on this project with a 20x gain made on it. But when you actually have a look at the volume post drop, we can see here that Megapont Ape Club is actually doing crazily well when it comes to the volume. And credit to this chart goes out to Forge Master. I saw this on his Twitter when I was doing the research for the project. So when you look at the cost of what it was to invest and essentially gamble on an NFT like this is the equivalent of like 0.02, 0.025 ETH, which is crazy for the gains that it has made. Now, the reason that I believe these are selling out and they're starting to get a bit of a rise is that the community is so tight. People are buying all of the projects because there aren't that many out there. Unlike Ethereum, where there's multiple drops a day and it's very hard to get across this, the Stacks community is very close. So what you actually have is a lot of cross promotion. And what this means is it means that once you're in one project, you're going to be exposed to the next and the next and the next. And a lot of these are going to have partnerships. They're going to have whitelist, and you're going to be in the ecosystem. So it's almost like it's a lottery ticket in getting one, getting access to all the others, others and writing them up if they are successful. And because these are the OG projects on the Stacks network, these will hold more value than some of the other releases that come after it. And to reiterate this point, Megapont Ape Club have 1,300 followers on Twitter. Their parent account has 1,400 followers on Twitter. When we have a look at their Discord, they've got 2,200 members on their Discord. If you saw these numbers on an Ethereum project, you don't think it would succeed, you would think it would fail, but the community is so tight and so supportive that these projects are almost getting to a point where they can't fail. So at the start of the video, I said I'd share my thoughts on the Stacks and Bitcoin NFTs as an NFT investment and the ecosystem in general. And what I'm seeing the more I'm in it is the community is very tight, it's very close. When you're in on a project, you are then almost whitelisted on the next project that comes out. Everyone is very tight, everyone is very close. And what's happening is the community that is surrounding these drops and these NFTs, they're almost making sure that these drops and these NFTs don't fail. They keep buying them up, they keep holding them. So what happened after I actually released that video and I got the response from the Stacks community that was so positive, I actually doubled down my holdings. Because what I'm seeing is it's not projects versus projects, it's actually ecosystem versus ecosystem. The Stacks community wants to make a dent in the NFT community when it comes to what Ethereum currently has. And the fact that you can jump in on a project and be supported on what you buy is great. You're not going to have rivalries between projects because each project wants the other to succeed, because that then helps out their cause. And then when you have a look at some of these gains and essentially the gamble that you can make, the gains are ridiculous. You could jump in what you would buy a regular NFT for with gas. You could end up buying 3 different drops, and you're more likely going to succeed on the drops on the Stacks network. What I think there will be some savvy people out there that will start seeing this, buy up, really make some big gains, and then this space will start gaining traction, which will then slow down these early potential gains that you may see on these recent and OG drops. And when it comes to a project like Megapont Ape Club, excuse the pun, I'm gonna ape in on it. I think the community is insane when it comes to what is happening around this particular project, and not just the ecosystem itself, but I also like the idea of them expanding the Megapont universe and the ecosystem they have. And in the future, I do believe Megapont Ape Club will become a blue chip asset when it comes to the Stacks and Bitcoin NFT space. So before I go, if there's anyone in the Stacks community that actually has access to tools or knows what tools I can use for post-drop data, similar to what I may use when it comes to a tool like Nansen for Ethereum, drop a comment below or hit me up on Twitter, because I'd like to start getting some data and being able to kind of use some tools to analyze some of these drops on the Stacks network. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, and if you did get value, please consider subscribing. I really appreciate it. As always, it's been a pleasure having you with me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.